In today's modern game of international football, it isn't rare to hear of players with multiple international playing options. Born in Calgary, Alberta, but yet eligible to play for Japan, Singapore, England and Canada, Issey Nakajima-Farran began his football career while playing for the junior youth team of Verdy Kawasaki. He later moved to England to play for Crystal Palace youth team, but returned to Japan at the age of 16 to pursue a youth contract with Tokyo Verdy, 1969. In 2003, he began his professional football career, having signed with J-League's Alibrex Niigata.
I started off playing at 8 years old in Japan for Tokyo Verdy, and then my family just moved to London for no apparent reason. So I joined Crystal Palace at the time, and then but the youth system in Japan was a lot more advanced with full education as well, and that's exactly why my parents sent me there to Japan, staying in a dormitory with Tokyo Verdy, at the time was the biggest club there, and I spent my youth years there. And I got my first contract with Alibrex Niigata, which we just got promoted to J1. Japanese players are very, they have a lot of stamina. The game is very fast. There's a lot of high pressure. A lot of guys have good technique. Everybody's, but the mentality is very different to European, and I think maybe America, to the North America as well, because I don't know, it's just the culture, everybody's just so hard-working kind of culture. So I guess that that really affects the football. Everybody's works out. I remember doing I remember running 8 kilometers before training. And I mean, just the whole youth setup in 2 years it was just probably the hardest training I've ever done in my whole entire life. It was crazy. Like 8 kilometers. It was the warm-up. You jog for like 40 minutes to 1 hour, and then we start the training. The guys are obviously all beat because everybody has school as well, so we start at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, and we train for like 2.5 hours, have a meal together, and then you're back home around 11 o'clock. You gotta do your homework, whatever, It was like that for like 2 years, and it was hard life, but and very good training as well. 5 days a week, 1 game on the weekend, Monday nights were the only time off, so I was really, really focused on education and football. And that was a lot more offering than at the time the Crystal Palace you set up, and that's exactly what my dad kind of questioned me. He's like, if you're serious about this, I think Japanese my option in Japan was a lot better than what I had in Crystal Palace, so I was like, making a decision, we'll support it. And that's when my parents really kind of kicked in and gave me the opportunity.
In 2004, Nakajima-Farran was transferred to Niigata's Singaporean Seattle club in the S League. Upon 2 successful seasons, scoring 26 goals in 45 appearances, he was awarded the S League Young Player of the Year in 2005, and also invited to play a game for the under-21 side of the Singapore national team. In the winter of 2006, Nakajima-Farran had trials with English sides Millwall and Portsmouth, and then was signed in Denmark on a 2-year deal with Vel Ball Club. After his time in Denmark, it was announced on 30th of August 2011 he'd signed a 1-year contract with A-League club Brisbane Roar in Australia.
Obviously, leaving Denmark to Australia was a big step for me, and they were the champions that previous season, and they were going to be playing in the Champions League, so it was, Asian Champions League, so it was, you could say, for me to kind of get back to Japan at one point, because I started in Japan, I gotta go back to the J-League at one point, and but yeah, we had a 36 unbeaten run, which was, I think, was the record for any sport in Australia. So it was a big game. I remember the winning streak. I think we won 4-0, and I scored 2 goals, and just to be a part of that was fantastic. Definitely a game I would remember for the rest of my life. It was a great experience. The crowd was just unbelievable, and it was a well supported crowd. Yeah, it was a beautiful place to live too. So it was a great experience.
During the summer transfer window of 2012, Nakajima-Farran signed a 2-year deal with Cypriot First Division side AEK Larnaca FC. Internationally, Nakajima-Farran made his debut for Canada on November 2006 in a friendly match against Hungary. He's earned over 25 caps, scoring 1 goal, and has represented Canada during the 07, 09 and 2011 editions of the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and also in qualification matches for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Nakajima-Farran was most recently called up by Canadian men's team's head coach Stephen Hart for the 3rd round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying.
Well, the thing is, I don't know, kind of goes off topic a little bit, but I played for Singapore national team when I had time in Singapore, and I was playing against Japan. It was like an invitation thing because Singapore wanted me to play for Singapore, and the game was actually against Japan in the under-23s. So I thought, being a Japanese player, playing on loan in Singapore in my Japanese club, I thought that would give me a good chance to, you know, somewhere down the road play for Japan. But then, so yeah, I got played man of the match in that game and scored 2 goals, and Singapore beat Japan for the first time in the Olympics. So I thought this would be a good chance, you know. But the Japanese coach just pretty much dismissed it quite easily and said, you know, there's good Japanese players, you know, all over the world, so good luck to them, kind of thing. So I thought, okay, well, you know, I'll screw that then, and you know, and Singapore obviously wanted me to join, but I still had a Canadian passport and a British passport and I was, what, 21 at the time, so I really wanted to kind of see where that was going to go. And 6-7 months later, that's when Stephen called me, and it all kind of made sense to kind of play for Canada when my whole Japanese family lives in Alberta, in Calgary, and they don't, you know, they can see me play in Japan. They haven't seen me in England either, so playing for Canada was like a means of getting through to my distant family. Yeah, well, definitely for me to get back, you know, I've kind of sat out of the national team for about a year or so, so it's nice to be back, seeing the guys again, and obviously we all share the same goal, which is to get to the, you know, get past the qualifiers and get into the World Cup. And I'm just very humble and very pleased to be part of it. And I really wish